Richard Hatch, guys, from Battlestar Galactica, and
So say we are.
yes. Oh, I get excited. So I was wondering, how do you think science fiction has influenced science? What's your favorite
first
kind
of all,
of
science
science?
fiction is written by some very brilliant scientists. You've always gotten some of the most intelligent people writing science fiction. And what is science fiction? Science fiction is looking into who we are, where we came from, where we're going, taking technology, extrapolating on where we are now. Where will it be in 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years? And then you're bridging, the science. That means how are we going to be orchestrating life with technology 100 years, 1,000 years from now? And how will it affect us as human beings? Because you got to put both sides of the equation together, right?
Right.
But the whole secret of science fiction is realizing that sometimes what actually makes sense, scientifically speaking, does not look like it makes sense when you actually portray it on screen. So one of the secrets, or one of the art forms of putting science and the science of the human heart, I call it, the dramatic aspects of it together,
I like that.
is that you sometimes have to tweak pragmatic, realistic science so that it actually looks like it makes sense, right?
Right.
So, and then sometimes you can actually use real science, and it actually makes the storytelling even more exciting, because you can't solve problems in a superficial way and just come up with some kind of scientific little gizmo in order to get the characters out of a situation. You actually have to think in a more pragmatic, realistic way of how a character might get through some kind of impediment or challenge, right? And then really explore something scientifically realistic that would actually be plausible and believable, right? So the coupling of science fiction and like I said, taking the science of where we might be in whatever particular venue that you're telling your story in, and then creating the human aspects of it and blending the two together so that one drives the other. So sometimes the science is driving the story, sometimes the story is driving the science, right?
So do you think, for particular characters, you can't have one character doing the same thing that another character would do, so the science might be different based on which character is trying to get out of a situation?
I mean, let's face it, sometimes science is an easy, we use it.
It's like a Deus Ex Machina type thing.
We use it when we're lazy in order to solve problems. And you don't want it to do that. You want science to drive the drama, to enhance the drama, not to resolve the drama. By all of a sudden, we're blocked in, we're going to die, and somebody develops or finds a little something and clicks it, and the wall opens and the doorway's there, and we get out of the impediment, right? The problem. See, lots of people do that. That's boring.
Yeah, it's
you
not
really
as,
have
not
to
as
think
dramatic.
How to use the science, when and where to use the science, and then use it in a really interesting way so it's not so predictable, it's not so cliche, and again, you want to build the drama, not take it away by solving the problem so quickly with some kind of little scientific,
I love that. I'm always trying to figure out, how do we incorporate science into storytelling better? And that is, you nailed it on the head.
Well, when you're thinking about science, think of any kind of scientific idea and then think, how can I take this cool scientific idea, concept, and now tell a story around it? It's a little bit like a game technology that they wrap a story around.
Oh, yeah.
Although in game technology now, they're developing the story first and then building the game around the story, which means that some of these games have really great stories. And they're actually starting to take game stories and develop movies around them, right? Which is a whole new concept.
Yeah, instead of the game coming from the movie.
So my friend and I wrote the foreword to one and the afterwards to the other, but the science of science fiction, and then Kevin Grazier.
I feel like the worst host ever right now for not knowing.
You don't even know that, okay? And then I wrote the afterwards on that.
Okay.
And then he's writing a new book called Hollyweird or Science Weird, which again is how does science operate in the venue of science fiction, right?
Awesome.
And how to use it more effectively.
Do you know when that comes out?
He said it's going to come out sometime in the next 3 or 4 or 5 months. That's what he's finishing.
All right, we'll look for
he's
that.
He's just finishing the book, and
We'll
that's Kevin Grazier, Dr. Kevin Grazier, the well-known rocket science, JPL rocket scientist who worked on the Cassini mission, who is the science consultant for Eureka, for Battlestar Galactica, for Blood and Chrome, for Defiance, and a whole bunch of other shows, including consultant on Gravity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you
Quite
go.
a resume.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're
I
more than
appreciate your
welcome.
time.
Yeah, no, I
Appreciate
love
that,
your, you have a really great way about you. It's very charming.
Thank you.